types of wine. And I'm going to have the pleasure of tasting these wines with a man who knows all about tasting wines, Jim Holsing. Jim, how long have you been tasting wine?
Professionally, about 15 years. Unprofessionally, a lot longer than that.
I think we all have. We have 3 wines here now, and you have been going around to restaurants and wineries as a food and wine consultant, correct?
Right. My goal in life, or my approach to life, is I'm trying to help people learn more about wine and food through wine lists, proper training of personnel, public relations here at the Garden, that approach to the wine media, if you will.
Did you set up the wine competition for the Big E here?
Well, the wine competition that led to this was done in Rhode Island, but I am the chairman of the annual New England Wine Competition, where the 11 wineries in New England entered 60 wines to be judged by judges from about 8 different states. And for the first time, the judging had people outside of New England evaluating the wines, and the results were very interesting. We had some good wines show up.
Are these 3 wines New England wines?
These are all New England wines. Everything that started at the Wine Garden comes from New England. We have 7 different New England wineries represented here at the Wine Garden.
Okay, I think we've established that Jim knows his wines. Now, I'm sure there's a correct way to taste wines, right?
Yeah, well, the correct way to taste wines involves what's comfortable for you, but I like to try and show the professional way, and then you back off of that as to whatever you're comfortable with.
All right, why don't you show us the professional way of tasting wines?
Okay, in theory, when you look at a wine, you're trying to evolve all your senses in it. You're trying to use your eyes, the sense of sight, the sense of smell, and the sense of taste. So the first step is to look at it, and when you're looking at a wine, you're looking for clarity. You're looking only to see if it's clear, if you can see through it. So you tilt the glass to see down into it a little bit. The only thing that won't be clear would be an old red wine, and most people don't involve themselves in those. When you smell, what you're really trying to do is find out if the wine smells like wine. If it smells like something else, like if it smells violent, it's not wine, and you don't drink it.
Okay.
You're trying to save your stomach a lot of grief. So in smelling, you swirl the wine in the glass, allows the wine to evaporate off the sides of the glass as well as off of the wine. You then get more evaporation, more things to smell, and you smell. Okay, the smelling, you really get your nose in there because you want to know what the wine smells like. If it smells like wine, you're ready for the next step.
Does that smell like wine?
It smells like wine to me.
Okay, what's the next step?
Okay, the next step is the actual tasting. And this tries to get your whole tongue involved in wine. Your tongue, if you take it apart physiologically, you pick up sweet at the end, salt in the back. I don't want to stick it out that far to reach my back. Okay, you pick up sour on the sides and sort of a bitter taste in the middle. So if you're going to taste wine, you have to hit 4 pieces of your tongue.
I see.
Okay, if you're really going to try and break it down, and that's all your tongue picks up is salt, sour, bitter, and sweet. And anything else is what your brain does to it in combination. Okay. So we then have to get some air in the wine so you can smell it while you're doing it. And the so-called professional way is called the reverse whistle. You put the wine in your mouth, pull air in over it, and taste it. And if you haven't done this before, it's hard to do on site because if you catch it, the wine will come roaring out as fast as it went in. But it goes something like this. Extra noise out of it.
Thank you.
That's the reverse whistle. That gets air in it. I'm smelling it. I'm tasting it. My whole tongue is involved.
You only do that when you're tasting wine, not when you're at a restaurant.
In a restaurant, a little candlelit restaurant, it's a little tense to hear the vacuum cleaner going berserk behind you. Okay, what they do in the restaurant, what I do is what I call the mouthwash technique. You still roll it all over your tongue, but you cut out the sound effects. It goes like this. Maybe a little air, just so you can breathe. But basically, you're still trying to get the whole tongue involved. And that's what most people do. You can then taste it. You then know why it tastes. You swallow it. You have a nice after effect. And the last way, and probably the most used way, and probably the all right way, is you still want to find out if it's good or bad. You've smelled it. You know it's going to taste good. So you give it this one.
Goodbye.
Another one.
Little chug-a-lug.
That's fine too. Whatever anybody wants to do, as long as they're comfortable with it, that's fine. But if you do the first thing, all the steps, you'll find out you've tasted a lot more than just pouring it down. Because when you pour it down, by the time your tongue knows what's there, it's down in the middle of your stomach.
Yeah, okay.
So those are the basic steps that I like to see people go through.
All right. Can you imagine, just a thought crossed my mind, if we had to do this 4 times before we did it right? Can you imagine how Jim would be right about now?
I just said, we weren't doing that step first.
Okay, let's try this one. You hold the glass so nicely. Oh. Start here.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. You hold the glass so delicately for a large man. And because you're what, about 6'2",
I'm about 6'4", maybe.
Okay. Now, you swirl it around.
Whirl it around.
All right, then you take a smell, right?
Right.
Okay. And do you do that constantly to get air in it or anything before you take
Not
the
the
sip?
iteration,
Or?
it's just once you get the habit ingrained and you start twirling anything you come up with. I twirl milk, martinis. I do. I can't
Well,
believe
good,
it's
yeah.
got things. It's just
It's
a
a
secondary
habit,
habit.
yeah.
You only really have to twirl it once.
Okay, just one time. All right, now let's taste it. I'll just show you how I taste wine.
Now you're going to reverse whistle?
Now, well, I could try it. I'll try reverse whistle.
See? Easy to do.
I also got the bug that was sitting on the top there. That's good. That's a nice crisp wine.
Okay, that's called Spinnaker White. That comes from a little Rhode Island winery. Blend of many what they call French hybrid grapes, things like Seyval Blanc, Vidal Blanc, and it's a New England version of a medium dry white wine. That's available at the garden here if people want to come and people can try.
That's very tasty. There's some that look nice and are bitter. Okay.
Okay, the next wine you're about to drink got a silver medal at the recent competition.
It's amazing the completely different smell. Fragrance.
See, he's now an expert.
No, but it's
Oh,
interesting.
you are. You're picking it up right away with your nose. It's an easy thing to do.
I've got 15 years to go professionally and a few before that before I catch up to you. It's a little heavier wine.
That wine's made from apples, whereas the last one was made from grapes. It's an entirely different flavor. That's more of a sipping wine. That comes from a little winery in Concord, Mass. called Neshoba.
Just fill up a little tumbler about that high and sip that for a couple hours.
Before dinner, with dessert, cook with it. A lot of people are cooking with these fruit wines.
I'm getting a different kind of...
Okay, this particular wine was one of the 4 wines in New England that got gold medals at the recent competition.
I don't know what to make of that.
Do you like it or don't you like it?
I don't dislike it. That's about as strong as I can get.
That wine's made from blueberries. Again, not from grapes. That's one of the things New England is doing, is playing with different wines, different raw materials, if you will. And that is a dry blueberry wine made to be a table wine, but using blueberries.
Well, Jim, this has been very entertaining, very delicious.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And I thank you very much for the time spent.
Thank you.
And I will remember to swirl once, take a sniff, and then reverse whistle when you do your wine, but make sure you have a napkin on your lap. I blew the last line of the whole thing. Makeup on your nap, that's fine. Thank you very much. I want to do that last line, get rid of the bumble on the napkin.